Guys, I'm sorry to announce that my hamster, Mr. Snookums, is dead. I'm making this video to honor him and show how he died. Rest in peace, Mr. Snookums. So, there's gonna be some Minecraft gameplay in the background, so you guys with your dumb attention spans don't get bored of me yapping about my dead hamster, who definitely died, by the way. So, the first thing that happened is that, my hamster, he was very hungry, and he wanted some seeds. So, Mr. Snookums, he went over to, my apartment, and he was looking for some seeds, and he went into my cat's litter box, and he thought that the sand was seeds, so he started eating them, but he also in the process ate a bunch of cat poop and cat excrements. So he ate the cat excrements and got sick, and my cat found out about this, and they started having an all-out battle, which my cat ended up going Super Saiyan and absolutely bashing him into the Milky Way. Mr. Snookums was okay though. Miraculously, he survived. So he went into the space and he found an alien species that transcends time and space. And he asked, "Hey, can I have some of those powers too? I need to get some seeds because I'm very hungry." So he got his seeds. He was very hungry. Well, he was thirsty now, so he went outside and went to the bathroom and went to drink some water out of a big white bowl. But it turns out that big white bowl was piss, like pure human piss. So he drank up all of it, and then a guy went up and he needed to piss really badly. So he took out his dong and started pissing on Mr. Snookums. And then he flushed. And he was singing swing low, sweet chariot. Like Richard Watterson. Swing low, sweet chariot. And Mr. Snookums went down the drain. We thought he was dead, but miraculously he survived and made his way through the ocean. But the radioactiveness mixed with the cat excrements that he ate before and the piss that he drank before made him have superpowers. So he was super hamster now. Super Snookums. So Super Snookums, he made sure to fly and cause a lot of mayhem. And he started a car dealership by which he sold people's cars which he stole from other people. And when the people tried to buy their car back, they were extremely overpriced, like $1 million for one smart car, those really small ones that look like the little Tykes toy. Anyways, people eventually got really mad at him, so this lady came up and smashed him with a broom. Not a broom, but a purse. And she made sure that Mr. Snookums was dead. But miraculously, he survived and made it outside the car dealership place. And he kind of wanted to clear his name for all the crimes he committed. So he captured the sun in a Dyson sphere, and started creating infinite energy for the human race. But when the sun exploded and he used his superpowers to create a tiny little baby sun, and that little baby sun was his pet now. So the baby sun refused to create more energy for him because he didn't want to be a slave for his dad. So the baby sun, he forced Mr. Snookums to go on his hamster wheel for the rest of eternity to produce more energy for the human race. And that made Mr. Snookums pissed. So he traveled into the world of Socrates, ancient Greece, and Socrates went up to him, "If being a dumb eye is your power, then what are you without it?" So Mr. Snookums got really bad and sent Socrates like a Super Mario 64 maneuver on him, and kind of like sent him into outer space. But that altered the space-time continuum, which created a hamster seed. And that hamster seed was actually a hamster pellet that he pooped out, but since the space-time continuum broke, that pretty much warped space and time, and that turned his pellet into a seed. And so he planted it, and that created a little hamster tree. And on that tree, there was a bunch of hamsters. So it turns out that he was still in ancient Greece, so like he just invented hamsters. Crazy, I know, right? So like the hamsters, they became his army. So they traveled into space. But he was wanted for blowing up the sun. So he went to Mars and set up camp there until humans eventually traveled there and colonized it. So like the humans colonized Mars, and they made sure to look everywhere for Mr. Snookums. So Mr. Snookums, he did an all-out war with the people who were on Mars and the colonists, So like they were fighting and stuff until Mr. Snookums went Super Saiyan. He unlocked his Ultra Instinct, and became Goku too. And wiped out all of the colonists and made Mars a inhabitable planet again. So like that angered the heck out of Goku, and Goku traveled to Mars, and he said, "I heard you're pretty strong. How about we fight to see who's the strongest?" So they started fighting until it lasted eons, decades, like 15 minutes until it was finally over. And Goku, he kind of lost, man. Mr. Snookums won, and that proved him as the most powerful being in the entire universe. So he time traveled. So in a lust for power, he time traveled and made it to the Jesus time. And he locked Jesus inside of a cave and said that he was the Messiah. He was the Son of God. So like Mr. Snookums, with everyone now believing the lie that he made about him being the Son of God, he started a new religion called Snookumism. But every good religion needs to have like a tragic death. So he sent one of his hamster clones from the hamster tree to be crucified, like long style. All of his disciples cried at this, his disciples also being hamsters. And with that, Mr. Snookums was finally one of the strongest beings in the galaxy, but he wasn't finished yet. He wanted to become God, and to become God, he needed to kill God. So Mr. Snookums, he went over to heaven, but it turns out that his clone from the hamster tree was already sitting next to God. And that angered Mr. Snookums. He wiped out heaven and summoned a demon, a shape-shifting demon, and sent it to Earth out of anger and rage. But the son, his pet son earlier, was really angry about that, and he missed him. So he started spinning really, really fast until it went a tiny little supernova. And when the supernova happened, it created a black hole. And once the black hole exploded, it created a neutron star. And when the neutron star exploded, it expanded really, really fast and created a pulsar, which lasered like the world in half. So now there's two halves of the world, and like they're both divided politically. One side is extremely communist, and the other side is extremely capitalist. So like the capitalist side wanted to see who was the greatest side of the earth, but Mr. Snookums was not happy for this, and it turns out that the leader of the capitalist side, whose name was poo poo papa pee pee. He was the shape-shifting demon from earlier. So, after an all-out battle with that shape-shifting demon, Mr. Snookums tragically died. But miraculously, he survived. And, he made it back home and finally got his drink of water that he always wanted. But the cat was still not happy with him. He made it back from outer space and managed to find Mr. Snookums and track him down. So Mr. Snookums, he was fighting with the cat, and Mr. Snookums, he won. The cat was dead. But we got really angry at Mr. Snookums. And my mom, you know what she did? She bashed him with a broom. Like, Mr. Snookums was no more. That's what we thought. But then Mr. Snookums, he grabbed the end of the broom, span around with my mom still attached to the broom, sent her out the window, waited a little while for her flesh to decay. Mr. Snookums ate her flesh, like consumed her flesh, defecated on the remaining bones, urinated on the remaining leftovers, and finally my mom was no more. That's what happens when you mess with Mr. Snookums, the literal son of God. So like Mr. Snookums, he was sad because he accidentally just killed our mom. So he hatched a plan to revive my mom. And Mr. Snookums, he managed to do it by going back in time, erasing the broom from existence, therefore never having a place to like throw my mom. And also he made sure to go to the bathroom before that so he couldn't defecate on anyone. And that was it. My family was safe. We lived happily ever after with our vets on, our millions upon billions of little hamster clones. And finally, our cat. Wait, our cat? Wasn't he dead? Well, it turns out that the cat, he made it out from outer space again. Like, he made it back from hell. He crawled out through the gates of hell. Tortured and battered and beaten. But he was still alive. And, he killed Mr. Snookums for good this time. But miraculously, he survived. And Mr. Snookums, actually got the lion. And since the lion does something very evil to everything that speaks, the cat was no more because his hole was ripped open. So Mr. Snookums did what any normal person would do with the dead body of a cat and kind of like defecated on it, pissed on it. So Mr. Snookums, he was tired of his own bullcrap, so he went back in time, stopped himself from ever eating the cat poop, and made himself a normal hamster again. But that restarted the cycle, and he had to eat the cat poop, yes or yes. Like, if he didn't eat it, then like he wouldn't exist. He wouldn't. So we went back in time and stopped Mr. Snookums from stopping himself from eating the cat poop. So like the Mr. Snookums, he was pretty angry and urinated on us all. But it turns out that Mr. Snookums' urination, pee, it just tastes like snacks. Like all the snacks that he's ever eaten. So we genuinely just opened our mouths and let it spray. Many years later, Mr. Snookums died of natural causes. And making this story, unnecessary. The end.